Angeline and Timothy Savage. Angeline and Timothy Savage. Destruction boys, you're giving me energy today, and I needed it because, like I said, I'm so under the weather, but I had to do this. I had to do it. Okay. Alrighty. So now I had to look up the names John Jolene, and Timothy Savage, because right now we're in chapter 3, and chapter 3 are the Savages, and then we will go to what is this? This is pretty much going to be short, really, because I've done the Savages before. Then the Savages, then R.Kelly and Jocelyn, and then finally I'll do R.Kelly, Azriel, and Jocelyn. This is part 2. Okay. Jocelyn and Timothy Savage. Calling Jocelyn and Timothy Savage. And Jocelyn. Jocelyn and Timothy, walk in here. Come to mama. Okay. We've already got Jocelyn. She's very angry, very business-minded, very intelligent, very angry. And she likes her new body. She really does. She didn't do it for Rob. She did it for someone else, but it was paid for with Rob's money. And she's saying while she's on the plate, I know I'm on my way out. So, whatever. Okay, then we have John Jolene. Sneaky. Very dramatic. Not to be trusted. Very materialistic. But she loves her kids. And she's made some mistakes and she's aware of it and she's very sorry. But at the same time, it was what it was. But she very much wants her daughter back in her influence. She said, oh. She says, who knows? Now that she's famous, we can make more money with her. Okay. Then we have Timothy Savage, very passionate. Of the 3 people in the plate, he is very, very passionate. Jocelyn shares her mother's coldness, her mother's cold personality, her mother's shrewd personality, her mother's calculating personality. Timothy Savage is very, very emotional, very frantic, very passionate, and very much in need of money. His need of money is very, very strong. I think it's broke. And these are the Savages, people. Oh, Lord. You can see for yourself what I'm seeing, right? Can you see what I'm seeing? Okay. Lord have mercy. So this is John Jolene. Okay, and she has another daughter. This is her daughter right here. They're very close. They're very tight. She's very close to her other daughter. Love, 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 love. This is also a representation of her. Right? This is Timothy Savage. Okay? This is Timothy Savage with another woman. Okay? This is his regrets and things that he wishes he had done differently. This is another woman. And a child that didn't happen or died or something like that. Jocelyn, I don't think you're seeing these, so I'm just going to move them forward anyway so that you can see them. And then I'll have to move this one forward because I already know what this space is. It's the emptiness of Jocelyne's life. Her life is very empty. I want to move this one right here. This is the extended family. They are very supportive of Jocelyn because they really buy her story. They buy it big time. This over there, I'm going to move it a little because when I edit these things, you won't see. But now I can move it because I'm an elevated witch doctor. Girls, I had to steam my vagina for 3 days, okay? If you sit on a steamer and you're steaming your vagina because you have to get out all the bad energy that came in every orifice, yeah, you would show off that you're an elevated witch doctor, even though it's just by 5%. I will keep showing off, hey, because that business of steaming the vagina. I remember my elder kept on saying, how long did you steam it for? And I would say, like 5 seconds. And she would say, damn it, go back again. In the end, though, I didn't feel pain. I felt the pain, but it wasn't as horrible as it was when I started. Anyway, this is Jocelyn. And she was really on the outskirts here. Did you see where she was? Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm going to stop this for a while because I have something to handle. Okay, and I'm back. Bottom line of the Savages relationship, which I'm really not interested in, because it'll just make this story a whole lot bigger, is that they have a lot of issues between them. They have no relationship. Before I threw the last 3 shells, there was all this distance between them. These 2 people are not even having sex with each other anymore. So it kind of makes sense that Timothy is helping himself elsewhere because Jocelyn is not having it. And I don't see any lovers in Jocelyne's life. All I see are, like, I moved these shells again so that you guys could see them. I moved Jocelyn's life here, which I'm not really going to read because then I'm going to get into that very soon. And then I moved her relatives who completely believe that Jocelyn, she's very, very fragile and delicate because Jocelyn comes from a family that had money. I don't know if you've all noticed, but me being an African, I've noticed that the lighter skinned black people usually have some connection with old black money. I noticed it while I was with my son's father because he was a very wealthy man, and I keep picking it up in people's shells. Jocelyn comes from a wealthy family which was extremely spoiled, and money is her god, which it should be everybody's god. I'm not holding it against her. And Timothy looks like a self-made man and is a self-made man. He's very emotional, very passionate, very tearful. Of the 2 fathers, Clary and Timothy, Timothy's a better father because Timothy genuinely thought that his daughter was going to become a star and she was going to be nurtured by Robert. But Robert was not interested in ever nurturing Jocelyn to be a star. It was about the sex. And with time, he got to like her intelligence because Robert is a man who is turned on by brilliance. And he was going to put her in the music business, but as an executive. Do you know what I'm saying? He didn't think she had any talent at all. And so he didn't do anything for her at all. He just fucked her. Both ways to Sunday. Okay, basically. And when she left him and went to college and her family said blah blah blah, she was now very attached to Robert and she went back of her own free will. He called her, said ready to come home, and she said yes, and she was in that car and she went. And when she got there, he beat the shit out of her. That was her first moment of violence with Jocelyn. Sorry, not Jocelyn. With Jocelyn. That was her first moment of violence with Robert. And she never tried it again. That's her story, and we will get into that, but I might as well share it. That's her story. She does have lovers. Some are given to her by Robert, some she picks up herself. And like I said before, and I keep saying, she is going to leave Robert permanently in 2 years, and she's going to marry a very wealthy black man that she met through Robert, that she met through this network that does what they do to females. He's a member of the network. Okay? But he's going to wife her, and she's going to be a mother of 2. But I'll say it again. I might as well say it here. So anyway, he genuinely thought they'd hit the jackpot. Timothy Savage, he thought that he wouldn't have to worry anymore about finances because Jocelyn was going to make all the money. He took the money that R.Kelly gave him, and of course he and his wife went to town. They went shopping, they paid off their mortgage, they paid off all issues because Timothy Savage's businesses are not making anything and haven't been making anything. And then they happily accepted the monthly payments that Robert Kelly was sending them in the name of Jocelyn, and they were enjoying it until Jocelyn became of age and R. Kelly stopped sending them money and he started giving it to this girl. This is something that all of R. Kelly's women, not all of them gets money every month. That's very fascinating. He treats every female differently. If you're from the hood and he picked you up from the hood, you're not getting a cent from him. Ever. You're just going to get a itty bitty things. If you're an older female, like the DJ, and you walk into this man's life, you're just getting presents from him. You're not getting a monthly allowance. But if you're Jocelyn from a reasonable family background, you're getting an allowance. If you are Azriel from an unreasonable family background where there is prison and what have you there, but still there were tutors, there was an attempt, right? You're not getting an allowance. You are getting mistress type treatment, real mistress type treatment. You're getting, my money is your money. Yeah. You're getting, my money is your money. So anyway, she was getting a monthly allowance that stopped, and her father felt the burn, and he started this whole fight of come home as a form of punishment to get his daughter back, because he felt like, if you're not going to give me money, Kelly, I'm going to take my daughter away from you. Did these parents know what was going on? Oh, yes. And Jolly knew what was going on when she sent her daughter there. Oh, yes. They chased R. Kelly. He didn't chase them. The savages chased him. They researched him. They stalked him. Then they fed him their daughter. Jocelyn has no regrets whatsoever. She's very cold and she's about herself. She's very selfish, very self-centered. Timothy Savage does have regrets. And that's why he's going so hard. He has a lot of regrets. Jocelyn is enjoying the publicity. Oh, hell, she's enjoying it. Timothy Savage is enjoying the publicity, of course, because he's getting more coochie since it started. But deep in his heart, this man is hurting. Of the 4 parents that I've put on this board in this story, this is the man who's hurting. Alice Clary is very happy, and I apologize, sister girl, by letting out your secret. Okay. Alice Clary is very happy at how things have turned out for her daughter. She was so proud of her daughter when she saw her walk into that courtroom looking like $1 million. Okay, she was so proud. Angelo Clary feels like his bitch was stolen. His fight for Azriel is more to do with that than her being his daughter. I'm told his vocabulary shows it. It's as if he is talking about his woman rather than his daughter. So maybe people want to listen very carefully to Angelo Clary when he's talking. There's no love there. There's no father-daughter love there. Jocelyn and Jocelyn, no mother-daughter love there. They're not even close. Okay, Jocelyn just wanted to retrieve her because the money had dried out, and they were really thinking, Jocelyn was really thinking that R. Kelly would pay more for her if they took her. Jocelyn had no intentions of being sold again, and still has no intentions of being sold again, because interestingly, Robert told her the truth of how she came to him and what the whole system is about in technicolor detail. He told her himself because he respects her intelligence, her strength, and her tenacity. Okay, this man though, let's all sympathize with Timothy Savage. He can't sleep at night. He wants his daughter. He's like, fuck the money. I made a mistake. The burdens that he carries, which are not shared by his wife. Do you see her burdens? Her burdens are 1, 2, 3. His burdens, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're not shared by his wife. And in fact, the fact that he feels so guilty is one of the reasons they are so distant. Do you people see this? They are so distant from each other. Jocelyn ain't got time for what she calls a weak-assed man, and he ain't got time for what he calls a cold-hearted bitch. So let's all feel sorry for Timothy Savage, because he's going through some things, and he always will. However, there is hope for him and his daughter Jocelyn. They will reconnect. When Jocelyn is a married woman and she is with another man, they are going to reconnect, and they are going to have a good relationship. Not right now, though. Not right now. Okay, so that shows you the whole court thing for the Savages was non-motherfucking factor. Okay, because they have been in their daughter's company numerous times, and she has shown her loyalty to Robert. Okay, they were surprised at seeing Azriel, but because Jocelyn does not share things with them, but otherwise it was a non-motherfucking factor. They couldn't care. But this man called Timothy Savage, he actually cried for his daughter. He cries a lot. His pain comes out as anger, as harshness. But he's like, oh man, for the money. Because he also discovered, along with his wife, in technicolor detail of what goes on between R. Kelly and his girls. And there were times he met Jocelyn and she was as skinny as a stick because she had not been eating. Jocelyn has not escaped Robert Kelly's brutality. And Robert Kelly is very upfront with her because her personality is very upfront. Like I said, he gives you what you give him. If your personality is violent and it likes to fight and it likes to dominate, he's going to give you that. Right? In her case, she's not violent and she doesn't want to dominate. She just wants to strive on her own. Right? And he gives her that. But this man, he's dying. Okay, I'm moving on to the next. Notes. R. Kelly and Jocelyn. So now I'm going to put this in. You know what I'm going to do, people? I am just so going to do R. Kelly, Azriel, and Jocelyn together, so that we can just see the dynamic. Because I think in the Savages spread, I kind of showed you what R. Kelly thought of her. So let's do Robert, Jocelyn, Azriel. I'm almost hating to call these three people in the pots because they are very tired. Robert and Azriel being the most exhausted emotionally, and Jocelyn being the most bothered emotionally. Okay. Jocelyn has a very cold personality, like I said. Robert is not well. I did see a premature transcending when I was doing when I was doing his girlfriend's reading. I did see a premature transcending, and I was not surprised when they said he was in the prison infirmary, and they said that's because of security reasons, but he wasn't well. Robert is not well physically. He's sick. And he's resting right now, literally, but he doesn't want to be resting, but it's like he's being forced to rest because he's ill. Azriel, who spent the night with Robert, is stressed about this whole thing. She can kill us all for what we're doing to her, man. She is stressed too because he is sick and he's going through these things, and I keep hearing, why are they lying on him though? Hey, go. Her soul keeps asking me that question, like, they're not lying on him. Some of the stories are embellished, but they're not lying on him. Okay, she's not trying to hear me. She ain't trying to hear that. Okay. So anyway, she's very stressed because her man is in the situation that he's in and he's not well. Jocelyn is just very annoyed, but somehow very grateful that Robert is going through this, because if he wasn't, she wouldn't have her current job, which is of being Azriel's caretaker. And so meet the three. I'm told to raise this higher. Raised. Oh my God. Every time I'm told to raise the shells higher, I know that a lot of violence took place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I swear some of the shells went that way. Okay. Usually when I'm told to raise my hand and throw the shells from a height, it means that violence took place. And violence did take place and continually takes place between Robert and Jocelyn. Yeah, I didn't expect that. Okay, so we're splitting these two. This is Jocelyn here to the left, and she's only 2 shells. A lot of the shells that were supposed to be her have fallen to the ground. So this is Jocelyn, all right? This is Robert in the middle, because these are both his women, right? Because even though Jocelyn is like on her way out or whatever, she's still servicing Robert sexually, and he's still beating on her because he can. So this is Robert, and Robert, wherever Robert is, there's a lot of females, and this is Robert, and these are his females. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the 2 children he acknowledges. He only acknowledges 2 children. Okay, and this is Azriel, and this shell came out of the violence, and this explains an incident of violence between Azriel and Robert, but it didn't fall to the ground. It fell right here. Let me drag it forward so that you can all see it. This shell fell on Azriel's side, and it represented violence, and it didn't exactly go over the table, which shows us that yes, Azriel has been slapped a couple of times, not enough for her to think that because she was hysterical. That's what I just heard. Because she was hysterical. Robert doesn't dare to do anything to Azriel that will make her commit suicide because she's on the edge. She actually gets psychological help. Literally. No lie. She actually gets psychological help. And it fascinates the bejesus out of him. So this is Azriel with her a few incidents of a physical abuse from Robert. He attempts to have a baby and see, she must have miscarried very, very recently. This is an upended shell, and it's right next to an upended her. If they were both flipped like this, guys, she would be pregnant. But she must have suffered a miscarriage very recently, because all her shells are upended, showing, in this instance, like a miscarriage. She must have miscarried very recently, and she's going to try it again, and there are like 3 miscarriages before there's actually something that sticks. There's something that sticks is over there. It's right here. There are actually 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 more before something that sticks. But she must have tried a lot. Okay, from the shells on the table, you be the judge. Jocelyn is 2 shells. The rest fell to the ground. How many fell? I only picked up 5, but I think more fell to the ground, because after this video, I'm going to have to go under and search for them. This is Robert. He always has the most of everything because his life is the biggest, right? And this is Azriel. How many shells are on Azriel's side? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There were 1 or 2 that fell off the shelf. But strangely enough, they are not depicting abuse between Robert and Azriel. They are depicting the abuse before Robert. I know. Strange. Before Robert, they are depicting the brutal abuse that she went through. And I'm just gonna say it because it's coming to me. When she was in one of those safe houses, one of the males or 2 of the males, they had their way with her, right? When she was waiting to be shipped to whoever had bought her, 2 of the males, they had their way with her before she met Robert. And that's what those shells are depicting. Okay. What these shells are telling me is that Robert invests more in Azriel than he does in Jocelyn, which makes sense. Even though he beats Jocelyn and he has lots of sex with her and he pimps her out a lot, right? The thing, he never wanted to invest in her singing. He never wanted to do any of that. It was all a lie. Do you see this space right here? All a lie. And Jocelyn is very bitter about that because she totally thought she was talented. She totally thought that if she gave it to him the way he wanted it, he would eventually open doors for her. It's a lie. He never appreciated her singing in any way, shape, or form, like all the women that come to him wanting to sing after Aaliyah. What we see about Robert is that the whole Aaliyah experience obviously tainted him. He put in a lot of work in that girl. He trained her. She just didn't become the singer that she was without him. He actually has the magic touch. He actually can bring the best out of a person if he wants to. After Aaliyah, he didn't want to. But he has invested a lot in Azriel. I know that she gets psychological help. She gets music lessons. And she gets all that beauty treatment and everything. She is constantly busy. And it's all Robert's money. And now she's doing IVF because of the sexual abuse she went through when she was young. And all that. He spends a lot on her. Their dynamic is pretty simple, people. When R noticed that he was going to go to prison, he still thinks it's between 2 to 3 years, right? He said to Jocelyn, because Azriel really adores Jocelyn. She really sees her as a big sister. If you guys noticed, She's the one whose hand reached out for Jocelyn when they were in court. Jocelyn did not reach out when they entered the courtroom, when they got past security. Jocelyn did not reach out. It was Azriel who waited to reach out. Like, she, of all of Robert's females, she loves Jocelyn. Unfortunately, the feeling is not shared. But Robert knows that. But Robert is like, fake it to anybody. Anybody who comes across Azriel knows the rules. Fake it to make Azriel happy. No buts, no what's, no going around it. Fake it or you die. So Jocelyn really fakes it, and she fakes it very, very well. And she becomes the butt of the joke with other women because they're all afraid. They all don't like Azriel, and they're afraid of Azriel because Azriel is about Robert. Purely about Robert, right? So she goes and she tells tales, like I said. So the other women, they feel sorry for Jocelyn, but what they don't know is that Robert is paying Jocelyn because Robert admires this woman's analytical mind. He's paying Jocelyn to be with Azriel. He has said to Jocelyn, you stay with her when I go to prison and I pay you. But that's not going to be the case. Jocelyn is staying for a short while and then she's getting married. She's taking advantage of the fact that Robert is in prison. Not that she has to. Okay, because this man lets you walk away. If he's not the one pushing you from the shadows, he's okay, with you walking away, right? She is really like devastated to be in this situation because she wanted to be a star. Unlike Azriel, this Jocelyn really wanted to be a Whitney Houston. She wanted to be a star. And that's not what happened. She put in years of her. Girl, I understand you. I get her. Even if the whole world doesn't get her, I do. Because when you're a creative person, you work so hard only to come across closed doors. And to give up on what you want is the hardest thing ever. And she hasn't quite yet given up, but she will. She's very bitter about the situation, but she does date because Robert is okay with her dating and seeing other men. So she is going to get an offer from one of these men from Robert's circle who should actually be arrested for human trafficking. Okay, she's going to get an offer like, move in with me instead. I won't treat you this way. And he will keep his word. And she will end up getting married. So she will be married like 2 years into Robert's sentence. If he is in prison for 2 years, I'm still sticking to my 8 months to 8 years because the only thing I got was 8. Okay, so she is leaving Robert, but unlike all his other females who left Robert and then went downhill no matter what they say, then they want to come back because life is hard and they can't take care of themselves or they need more money, right? This one is just going to find another provider, and that provider is permanent. He's going to want to marry her. Her strength is sexy. She's going to need diapers though. Too much anal sex. Anyway, Robert pays her like babysitter, right? And if you look at this, it still blows my mind. The distance is not quite the same between him and Jocelyn and him and Azriel, but it's not that different. Am I making sense? He doesn't love. He doesn't know what the frick love is. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't know. He has no clue. What is love? Anyway, Robert is going to go to prison. I'm going to do his victims next, maybe on Thursday. He is going to go to prison. The charges are very interesting, but one particular female is going to sink him, and she wants the least money, but she is the angriest. All right, so he is going to go away. When he comes out of prison, this man will always be rich. Like I said, let's not lie to ourselves. Okay. When he comes out of prison, though, he's not going back into the music industry. Not the way he was. Am I making sense? Not the way he was. In a more downgraded way. Not because he's been to prison, but because his health will be suffering. This one, Azriel, will stay by his side through thick and thin, rain or sunshine. She's not going anywhere. She will never reconcile with her dad. And if the dad doesn't watch this video, he will never know that she's talking to her mother. And he won't watch this video. He will never know that she's talking to her mother. She will never reconcile with her dad. She, will never sniff him, blah, blah. She will never. She will have, if she works hard enough, 2 kids. 2 live births. If she works hard enough, she will. And she will be the female standing when Robert transcends. And when he transcends, he's leaving her $80 million. I'm wondering if I've left anything out. Oh. Honestly, my bestie, she's too much. She knows I'm filming, and then she's asking questions. I had to cut at one point, and now she is making me answer something that she knows off the top of her head. Okay. So, I don't know if I've left anything out with... Oh! The conspiracy. Thank you, Jesus. I think I mentioned it before. The question I got asked by R.Kelly's girlfriend and ex-girlfriend was, why now? Why is this happening to him now? I didn't understand that question, people. And I was like, well, it's destiny, which is true. It's destiny. I didn't understand it. They were aware of information that they thought I would never get a hold of, but obviously I did. The fact that he was into human trafficking and he was part of a whole group of very rich men who do that sort of thing. Right? They knew that. I didn't know that, but they knew that, right? So, don't ask me a question and then think you can hide something from me. That's some bullshit. Oh my God. Don't do that. Because I'm going to be all over it like white on rice because I am about that business. So, I asked why now? And why now? It's because these sexual issues of his, these sexual assault issues with women, they keep surfacing and they keep surfacing and they keep surfacing, making those men who are in it with him, where he has actually made most of his money in that business of trafficking young girls, right? Nervous. But even worse, he took Azriel from another trafficker who paid for her with his own money and was looking forward to doing whatever these debauched people do. And instead, he had worked himself, he worked himself up because he got a Polaroid of Azriel, and he worked himself up and he said, yes, this weak thing, she's mine. And he worked himself up and he probably had 1,000 orgasms looking at this little girl's picture, and he probably showered 10 times with joy or whatever it is that these people do, right? And then all of a sudden, he gets a different girl. He asked the question, who did that, right? And the question was Robert, right? And Robert doesn't even pay him his money because according to this man, who's also over Azriel's soul, he paid more for Azriel than the merchandise Robert brought him. Right. So he's been waiting his turn for revenge and waiting his turn to convince others to turn on Robert. And he got his chance. Basically, one of the reasons why now is because of this girl right here. And is Robert aware of that? Yes, he is. He's aware of that. Which makes holding on to Azriel all the more important for him because he's that dude. He's aware of it. He's basically saying, you ain't never gonna get her. You ain't never, no matter what you do, you ain't never gonna get her. And Miss Azriel is in total ignorant bliss, the way we should all be. She's in total bliss. She has no idea what the heck is going on and why it is going on. She has no idea. And that is the end of this long. Did I forget anything? No. Long prediction. And I asked my ancestors after they downloaded the story of R.Kelly and his brutality. This man is brutal. He beats a woman until she wishes she was dead. Okay? He starves you. He chains you. Then he makes you do shit to degrade you. He gets nothing from pimping you. He gets absolutely nothing from pimping you. Not even a cent. He doesn't give a fuck. You are pro bono to people. All he is doing is checking you out to see how much you can take and how far you will go. And he does it especially to the female who says, I love you so much, I'll do anything for you. That, once you say that to R.Kelly, I'll do anything for you, he will find things for you to do. This man is cruel. Let's not walk around that. And the reason he has so many female fans is because the cruelty shines in his eyes. And he recognizes his own cruelty. That's why he always wears glasses. He's not wearing glasses because he's afraid of his, he doesn't want, he's hiding from his fans. Oh no, that would be Azriel. She was wearing those glasses that she doesn't really need to hide from us. Okay? He wears those glasses to shade the cruel light in his eyes. Okay, so he wears them all the time to share. Then he seduces you with his voice and his words because he's good at that, right? This man is cruel. And this is why he has so many loyal, loving female fans, because all women are drawn to cruelty, me included. Except I'm not drawn to this type of cruelty. I don't know why. I was all about that business. I used to be all about that business. I was all over those cruel men. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I outgrew it. Maybe I steamed it out of my body. Who knows? But that's why women are drawn to him. They want the cruel guy. Because primarily, I hope I'm saying it right, primarily, women are coded to go after the strongest male, right? And we take his cruelty as strength, but Robert is not strong. Robert has never challenged another man one-on-one, and he will never do it because he doesn't want to be beaten, and he will be beaten. Robert has never... And that's why Robert has sex with men, like, come and do me, because you think you're all that. Because he knows he's big, right? And he's all that stuff. And so I'm going to show you that you ain't much of a man with all your muscle and your ability to fight me. I will still tell you to get inside me and you will do it. Robert is all about destroying a human being from the inside, using their characteristics to destroy them. And he has destroyed many, many females. There are also missing females in Chicago and other parts of the world, Africa, whatever, that he had a hand in. Okay, let's not get it twisted. Okay, this man is not God's angel. So I asked my ancestors, because I'm trying to learn the type of person who goes to the right, the type of soul that ends up on the right. And I said, is Robert a perfect candidate? And my ancestors said no. I said, where would he go? And they said the left, the reincarnation, the second chances. And I said, are you fucking serious? Why? And they said he saved a life. He may have done all those things and destroyed all these lives and brutalized all these lives. He still saved a life. In his next life, he'll save 2. In his next, he'll save 3. Until his brutality ends and he becomes a savior. He's a work in progress. That's some bullshit. But that's my religion. Okay? And I bow to my religion. My ancestors say, a soul that does nothing but cruel things is a very, very young soul. It deserves as many chances as possible. That's still some more crepology. But I had to share it with you. I do not agree. Okay. Because he may have saved one soul, but he killed a lot of souls. The killing of the soul has nothing to do with the killing of the physical body. In my culture, there are 2 deaths. The death of the soul, which is actually worse than the death of the flesh. And when I look at Robert Kelly's shells, there are a lot of souls that died because of him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7, because this one's downturned. You know what I'm saying? And for my religion to say, he saved a soul, so he gets another chance, that's interesting. I will also say, and leave it at this. When I was going through Robert's energy, and when I was going through his 4 accusers, and then I looked at some of the women, I realized, people, that quite a lot of those women were lying. So he also does have that. Because I'm not feeling well and I'm really sick and I don't think I'll be better in a while, I'm going to be downloading R.Kelly, not as fast as I thought I would. I'm going to be probably downloading him in different paces. And I want to cover the trial, but I don't really want to cover the trial because I sort of know the outcome. But I will definitely do a video on the 4 accusers. That's next. Not today. Okay, because I'm going to rest right now. Then I've got private readings for people to do. Then I've got to fulfill my writing contracts, which is my day job, even though I'm doing this in the day. And then, and then I have got to give myself time to heal. So I I will do those 4 accusers because I did see interesting things about all 4 of them, and I did kind of see that 2 of them are going to burn him. We are stuck on one issue: the tape. My ancestors are still looking into that. That tape may be the same girl as the old tape. Same girl, different days. Or maybe a completely different girl. Anyway, we're going to throw some shells on it, and my ancestors are going to read energy, and they are going to read the energy from R.Kelly's picture, and they are going to see. But they are 2 females who are very strong and whose ancestors are very strong and are not having it. One of them must be very, very spiritual, the hairdresser, because it was her ancestor in particular who was carrying the spear and saying, I ain't having it. And I've been fighting this darkness for a long time, for years and years and years, and I am not having it. You shall pay for what you did to my baby. So you see, girls, it pays to be spiritual, because he is like the one who opened up the doors. But we will see. I'm going to get better. When I get better, I'll come back with R.Kelly and the 4 girls. But I just don't want to concentrate on that too. I want to do other videos about other people. So I'll probably do some other people first and then come back to R.Kelly and the 4 girls, because this is going to drag on. Okay, then I'll come back to R.Kelly and the 4 girls, because we did kind of see, we kind of, sensed them already. But, I want to spread out my wings and see others. I don't know why I'm so in tune with Robert Kelly. I don't know. I said that to his women. I don't know why I'm so in tune with your man. I have no clue. Never wanted him. Will never want him. Not attracted. Just not my type. Because I'm psychic. And I look into his eyes. And I know. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. I hope I gave you some new information. I don't feel like I did. And that's very annoying. But I hope it was something new and something exciting. Okay, see you later. Bye.